break it down in a nutshell, and it's a book, so I'm just giving you very basic points. Economic power over emotional politics. We need to stop begging for inclusion, build ownership, buy land, fund our own, and stop letting party loyalty replace financial literacy. Number two, reconstruction of the black family. We rebuild the foundation. Men lead, women partner, children learn. The village is no longer optional. To Aisha's point, it's survival. Three, education that liberates, not indoctrinates. We teach wealth, history, critical thinking, not compliance, right? If we are going to be in a school system, we need to make sure it's a school system that we can control. And if we can't control it by ownership, we control it by policy so it produces creators and not consumers. Number four, media control and narrative ownership. We tell our stories through art platforms without palm-colored small hat involvement. Letting outsiders define our worth, our culture, and our heroes is what got us in this mess in the first place. Number five is political leverage, not loyalty. No more free votes. Every politician must earn our support with tangibles, contracts, and accountability. Number six, health and healing. That means mind, body, spirit. We got to address our mental health issues. We got to address our piss poor diet that includes that the majority of our communities are designated food deserts. We also got to deal with generational trauma. We can't build if we're broken, and nobody's going to look at revolution if you can't do a push-up. Number seven, community-based security and economics. We need to police ourselves, and if we have to deal with the police force, we need to make sure that we have laws on the books that say no police officer can police anywhere outside of the 5 mile radius that they live. That way, everybody's on an even playing field because you're going to operate differently if everybody knows where you live. We protect our neighborhoods. We invest in block by block ownership and self-sufficiency. Number eight is cultural preservation and legacy building. We reclaim what's ours: language, art, values, and wealth. Pass down more than pain. We pass down power. Because a lot of us are seeing our people make our children start over at zero because we think that there's something wrong with nepotism, and we think there's something wrong with legacy building, and we think that anybody who has a trust fund set up for their children is somehow bougie, and that is a psychological op that has not worked well for us.
Nepotism is a good thing. I don't know why they treat it like when these kids, when you see the Smiths and people roll their eyes like, oh, their parents was rich, and if I was rich, I'm going to nepotize. My kids are going to have all the opportunities. I'm being for real. My son got his first job because I was the HR manager, and I was like, my son is now a management intern. Like we doing what we got to do. Nepotism, because everybody else does it. You go somewhere, the whole family work there. I work in HR. I've been in HR for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. You go somewhere, black people don't want to tell you where they work at. They don't even want to put you on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, these Hispanic people, everybody coming to work. They gonna tell everybody how to get on. They are sharing the wealth. And I feel like we have to have the mentality that there's more than enough to go around. I would rather be working next to my brother than anyone else, right? I got in this position because I was like, I want to be able to control the narrative. I want to hire people that have felons. I went and lobbied to have, if you've ever been convicted of a felony, taken off the application, because I think that that's the weirdest shit ever. Because a felony, especially in Texas, anything is a felony, right? So that's just a way to keep people from getting jobs that need to work. So I don't believe in none of that. So I really think that as a people collectively, I always say this, we just have to get on code and stop. And to your point, we have to stop popularizing the degeneracy. That literally gets us nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. And put our money in the right places. And that goes for celebrities. Like, people like, oh, it's their money. No, hold them accountable. If they can't help us, then don't support them. That's how I feel. If they can't directly give Black people tangibles, then why are we supporting them? Oh, it's their money. They can do what they want to do. No, they can't. They're supposed to be helping build that community. And right. That's just how I feel.
All right. Anybody else that have been? Go ahead, Concrete.
I wanted to ask Ms. Aisha, can you specify what code means, if you don't mind? When you say
I feel like if I tell you online, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? So being on code is for Black Americans, those people that were descendants of chattel slavery in this country. That just means like being for Black people. right? So that just means you are, I'm gonna just say that just means you're pro-black. And so when I look at pro-black, which a lot of people are gonna look at me crazy, that means you can't support LGBT policies. You can't date outside your race. You cannot date outside your race and be pro-black. That is a conundrum. Can't do it, right? Because the whole purpose of being pro-black and being on code is to further progress the community and keep the lineage going, right? So everything that you do is around that. You know what I mean? And I know people are like, love is love. Love is love. And you can absolutely love who you want to love, but that don't tell me that you're pro-black. Because there's no way you're pro-black and you're sleeping with the colonizer. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But to me, being on code is just that. It's almost like when you see another black person and you just be like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just have to have that code, and we have to all be on the same page collectively. So if we all say we're not, like they did the boycotts of the bus, everybody was on code. Nobody had to talk about it. They didn't even have the internet back then. You know what I mean? It's like when you were in high school, we didn't have the internet. Everybody showed up at the party. We was all on code. How was we out there? Same outfits? Don't know. Because somehow we got to them parties and they was packed, right? So it's just like being on code and keeping them out of our business, because their objective is to see us divided and to not be on the same page. They try to confuse us with the red and the blue. Why do we even care about that? They are racist. Every last single one of them. Somebody said they not hanging us no more. Yes, they are. They just found a dude hang last month. They still out here hanging people. They still out here lynching them. They do not care. Okay. So when you're on code, you have to know and understand that we all operating under a system of white supremacy. So you just got to move a certain way.
I agree. When you mentioned the lynching thing and saying that, yeah, they're still lynching us via rope in a tree, yes, but they're also lynching this is just, the black men a different way through the system. And when you have this black woman who runs to the white men and place them on child support for manipulation, that is the way of lynching the black man and placing him part of the 13th Amendment and oppressing him. And if that black man cannot thrive, evolve, and break through these barriers that was placed before him via the white man, but yet now you have this woman who you procreated with that you didn't properly vet, now you're being lynched by the system via the black woman. You get what I'm saying? So lynching looks very different in 2025, but it's all the same.